What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zo back with another WNBA slate breakdown. If you guys are watching the live stream, I apologize. For some reason, my video's cut out. So I'm going to record this, get this uploaded real quick for you guys so you guys can get this breakdown information real quick. To cover what I already went over, if you're new here, hit the subscribe button so you guys do not miss any of these uploads. I'm going to get this stuff fixed, I promise you, so I can actually do these live streams and answer stuff and everything live. But for right now, talk to me down in the comment section. I will respond. Or you guys can sign up for the Patreon. Check down the link in the description below. It's only $10. And you guys can join the Discord group. And I'll be able to talk to you there and also on the Patreon as well. Going over to the slate, we got a 3-game slate after not having any games. Yesterday, of course, Monday's the off day in the WNBA. So good to see that we have a pretty decent slate for the first day back. We get games every single day this week. We got a couple of 1-game slates, a 5-game slate, and I want to say another 3-game slate for this week. Really great to have that many games. We've been having some pretty big breaks throughout the past couple of weeks to start the season. So this is pretty good to get that consistency finally in the W. Looking over the injury report, starting out, Washington Mystics taking on the Fever. Nothing to note right there. Elena Deladon, she's expected to be back today after sitting out on Sunday. She had that neck injury, which kept her from playing on that back-to-back going up against the Storm. But she is expected to be back in play today. Keep an eye if they do put some type of minute limit or anything like that. But from what I've seen, looks like she's 100% ready to go. Going over to the Dream, taking on New York Liberty. Same players that have been out for the Dream is still going to be out. Ari, Danielle Robinson, Rupert, they're all going to be out. Haley Jones, I would not be surprised if she slides into the starting lineup and actually starts again in this game. They were splitting it up between her and Hillman. Hillman has not looked great at all to start the season. She started out pretty good the first 2 games of the season, but just has looked pretty ever since then. Going over to New York Liberty, we have biggest news of the day is the fact that Sabrina Ionescu is expected to be out with that hamstring. So we should see a change in the starting lineup. Right now they have Johannes projected to start. I wouldn't be surprised if Johannes does start, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they go ahead and they start Thornton as well. So it'll be interesting. We do want to get that news for the New York Liberty because if Johannes starts, she is going to be the chalk cheapie of the day because she's sitting like 4.6 over on DK. So that's a very big value that you can get for a guard that's in a pretty good spot. And we know that if her shot is falling, I know she can play make a little bit. Then that's mad value that you can get right there. And then over for the Storm, everyone's back. Jewel Lloyd, after sitting out on that first game, going up against the Mystics, she's back from that foot injury. Didn't look like anything was hampering her. I really felt like they just did that to get her some rest. So good to have Lloyd back. And then Horst, Horston, they put her into the starting lineup. They took Mercedes Russell, put her on the bench. Mercedes Russell's minutes have kind of been trending down anyway. Horston has looked pretty good in her limited role in minutes that she's been getting. So pretty great to actually have another player that can produce some decent points and carry her own, get her own shot out there to play along with Easy and with Lloyd. So that'll be a big thing for them. And then going over to the Phoenix Mercury side, biggest thing is the fact that Shea Petty, she's expected to play. Mariah Jefferson is listed as a game time decision. We've seen that exact same tag was on her last game and she sat out, she did not play, and they actually started Sutton did move into the starting lineup and has looked pretty great. Even coming off the bench, was pretty much playing starter minutes, getting 30-ish minutes a game anyway. So for her to be into the starting lineup, that's pretty good. And a pretty good matchup for her right here going up against the Storm. She's looked very well in regards to her scoring and her playmaking abilities as well. So that'd be pretty big for them if she goes ahead and she still gets to start. But of course, this is a hammer game, so we probably won't have that news when it's actually time. Going over the DraftKings, the site that I like to play on. If you guys do not have a DraftKings account, check down in the link in the description below so you guys can get that deposit match bonus. And come on, join your boy over here on DraftKings. I love this site, everything that they have. They have some really great contests. I played the showdown yesterday for the NBA Finals. Won pretty good. Thank you, Michael Porter Jr. Low owner at the captain position, and turned out to be the optimal play right there. So really great, really great. I love the contest that they have. We get a 30K fadeaway, 10K up top to first. FanDuel's not doing that. I promise you they're not. So definitely check down the link in the description below for that DraftKings promo right there so you guys can get that deposit match bonus and come over here and play with your boy who last week won a Queen of the Court seat. I got a seat into the Queen of the Court big contest, 100K to first place. Cannot wait to play for that. Hopefully I win. You know, that'd be really great if I can. I got a couple more tickets to actually win some more seats inside the contest. Better my odds of winning or whatnot. Hell, I might even be able to gift a seat to someone else or something like that. Who knows? But really great. Had a really great run on DraftKings last week. Put up some really good numbers. If you guys want my cores and stuff, check the link down in the description below for that Patreon. You don't want to miss that. I post my cores. BK, he posts his article, his player pool, and prize pick props. All that stuff is up on the Patreon right now already. Getting into the breakdown, I know I normally go top tier, mid tier, and then value, but I'm going to try something different. I'm going to go game by game. I think the breakdown might go a little bit faster this way. I don't want to hold anybody up. I know you guys want the information, get what you need, and then go. So I'm going to try something different. If you guys do like this, let me know down in the comment section. I will keep it going. If not, I'll go back to the original way that I was doing things. First game on the slate, Washington Mystics taking on the Fever. This game right now, looking at it, I feel like it's going to be close. The Fever, they're at home. They play much better at home. The Washington Mystics have been kind of a mid-level team anyway whenever it comes down to it. They've been letting teams that you would think they would blow out, you would think that they would go out there easily demolish them or anything like that. They've been letting them hang in there. So this game, I expect it to be close, especially with that Nalissa Smith, Leah Boston have been playing. They've been playing very well and have been carrying this team. Starting up at the top, we got Lynn Deladon and Skira Austin. EDD to me on this slate is going to be GPP just because the thing with her is that she can get a great matchup. Like, she had good matchups again, going up against the Lynx, going up against the Storm, and go out there and give us a dud. Yes, she's able to go out here and give us a 40, close to 50 burger on a slate. But when you're only $100 off from Skira Austin, who's been playing very consistently, putting up a double-double practically every single game, and also doing it on the defensive end in regards to her blocks and steals, I would rather come down and get that little $100 difference and go just scare Austin. Austin's going to be the cash game play for me. Elaine Deladon, that's going to be the GPP just because she can go off and break a slate any day of the week. Coming down, then we got Boston, Smith. The bigs for the Fever, I don't hate them. I'm not too heavy on them, but if you're into narratives, we do have the Ole Miss going up against the Gamecock rivalry going on right here for Leah Boston. Last game going against the Phoenix Mercury was a down game. Of course, you're playing against the Phoenix Mercury. Brittany Griner defense, that's no slouch right there, especially going up against Leah Boston. Rookie, and we saw Brittany Griner had a very good game. That's why I'm really high on Shakira Austin. Think she should be able to go out here and dominate just in the same way that Brittany Griner did. Get those blocks, get those easy shots, and the rebounding as well. But Boston, we can't forget what she's been doing over the past couple of games. She dropped 47.75 fantasy points going up against Chicago, and then going up against the Lynx, 35.75 fantasy points. We know that she has the upside, especially whenever she's actually getting her shot to fall, which she's been pretty efficient in regards to her scoring. Getting to the free throw line, she's a pretty good free throw shooter, but whenever she's actually able to impact it on the defensive end with her blocks, her steals, and still being able to do what she does on the rebounding end, she's a force to be reckoned with. We have seen that some centers have been able to give the Washington Mystics some trouble. We just seen Easy back-to-back games drop 40 burgers on the Mystic. The Minnesota Lynx, Collier popped off. Dallas, I want to say that should have been. We just saw Howard and Satu pop off going up against Dallas. The bigs actually do pretty well going up against Washington Mystics. Is pretty much what I'm trying to get to and get at here. And so I really do not mind going with Leah Boston, and then GPP would be Nalissa Smith. If you're playing anything from here. Coming down to the guard position, Cloud, Mitchell, Atkins, Sykes, Wheeler. Clustering them up, to me, the safest one would be Cloud just because she's a point guard, has ball in her hands. We know she can go out there, play, make, get the assist. She can get it on the defensive end if she decides that she wants to. And if she's going to go out there and get me at least, I'd say 10 to 13 points, I can live with that, especially with these high assist numbers and maybe some steals. I'm not going to pay too much, 19 points. That's not her MO. She only got that because Elaine Deladon was out that game, so of course she's going to have to do a little bit more in regards to scoring. Pretty efficient in regards to her three-point shooting night, but I wouldn't expect another 31.5 fantasy points. I would love it. I would take it if she's going to be able to get a step, but I don't see that happening here in this spot. But still, Kelsey Mitchell, she's going to have the tougher matchup. Getting Cloud defense, Atkins defense, Sykes defense, that's going to be pretty tough. She has a horrible floor, down to 10, 14 fantasy points. I know her ceiling is pretty much there. She can get us mid-30s if she wants to, if she actually is going to have a nice night, but this is not the matchup for her here, and I personally will go ahead and fade her here in this spot. Actually, while I continue to talk to this, I'm going to pull up Line Star as well. Going down, Atkins pretty much has been pretty GPP, boom or bust in regards to what she's going out there and doing. She has not looked too great over the past couple of games. Really was expecting some bigger nights from her going up against the Storm. She did not go out there and deliver that at all in any way, shape, or form. It was really kind of a letdown what she went out there and did. But GPP play nonetheless because, as you've seen, going up against Dallas Wings, she can go out there and give you that 39 fantasy point game if she is locked in and on. Sykes, I kind of just fade that. I never play that at 8K. There's some other players around this price range that I would rather go to over Sykes anyway. Erica Wheeler, another one. She's been playing much better over the past couple games. Yeah, she's coming off a 33.5 fantasy point game. Do I expect her to go in here and do that again here, going up against the Mystics? Not necessarily. Not really. But if she's able to actually go out there and deliver and do it, I mean, even looking at last season, she really didn't do too much in this spot anyway. Not really looking at her. There's of course other players, cheaper spots and stuff like that I'd rather get to anyway if I'm looking at that. Queen, Wallace, Hines, Vivian, all these guys down here, really none of them are going to be on my radar. I've seen that Lee, she's been finally getting some actual more minutes lately, pretty consistent in regards to her double-digit minutes. If you need, like that's some deep value need, or you're expecting this game to be a blowout or something like that in a sense, and you feel like she'll be able to come in there and ball for a little bit, I definitely wouldn't mind taking a flyer on her, especially in GPPs. That's definitely a value that you can go to. Kind of seems like she's taking over Tolliver in regards to the consistency in the minutes, finally getting that burn out there. Shakira Walker, I want to say that this boost in minutes was also due to the fact that Elena Deladon was out. Yeah, she went out here and dropped 14.5 fantasy points. Sitting at 4K, I'd rather just go ahead and pay up for Johannes, who should be in a prime spot to get more minutes with Serena Ionescu being out today. Tina Hawkins, that value. If Elaine Deladon was to miss and be out, of course, we go back 29 minutes, man. You can't beat that with 23 fantasy points. I'd go back there. I don't hate going to her here again because we do know Austin can get in foul trouble. Elaine Deladon can get into some foul trouble. Both of them are definitely plays that you can go to, but at 3,800, I don't feel like we have to get down there to that value today for her. Everyone else in this mid-range, not really anything that I'm looking at in regards to this game. Queen, of course, is another GPP flyer if you're feeling froggy about it, but she's not getting the consistent burn and run like that, and it's just been too up and down for anything that you're going to actually be able to get. And then Misha Hines-Allen, she's just still not getting the burn and run, and doesn't look too great out there yet, coming back from her injury. That's going to be first game. Going over to the next game, Atlanta Dream taking on the New York Liberty. Biggest thing to note about this right here is the fact that DraftKings has this game starting at 7. It does not start at 7. It's supposed to start at 8. So if you're locking in players from this game, you want to make sure that you actually have the players that you're going to be playing from this, because we never know. DraftKings might not let you change your plays once it's locked, because we know how once it locks, you have late swap, stuff like that. But if they're going to keep it inside the system as a 7 p.m. start time and not honor the fact that it's at 8, this will be the one knock I'm going to give to DraftKings. You might want to make sure you have your plays locked in correctly for these first 2 games, because you're not going to be able to adjust, change anything around, or anything like that of the sort. So looking at it, of course, the day-old question that we ask every single time Breanna Stewart's on the slate: do we play Breanna Stewart? What is the answer, chat? Cash games, yes. GPP, you can get different. There's a lot of great other bigs on the slate for today. You do not have to lock yourself into Breanna Stewart. But if you want the safe floor, which we know Breanna Stewart has probably one of the safest floors out there, and the fact that she just played this team and dropped 49.25 fantasy points against them, hint, hint, definitely a play that I'm going to look at. Serena Ionescu is not going to be playing. More uses for her possibly in this spot. I do not hate going here to Breanna Stewart. Of course, the highest price player on the slate, sitting at 12.2. We do have some decent value. Talking about her teammate on the other side. Well, her teammate in this game as well. And Johannes, if she is to start, that's some tremendous value. Johannes is sitting down here at, where are you, Johannes? At 4.6. Going out there, she played 19 minutes last game, dropped 18.25 fantasy points. Right now, since those first 2 games where she played 21 minutes and really didn't do too much, these past 2 games, she's been going out there kind of giving us a fantasy point per minute. She played 15 minutes going up against the Dream last time and gave us 16 fantasy points. Now, if she's going to actually start and get starter burn in minutes, and I know she's a 3-point shooter, great knockdown shooter, can play make a little bit in regards to getting some assists and things of that nature, I'm going to have a lot of interest in Johannes, especially if she's marked as the starter. I cannot avoid that. That's just a slam dunk play. Now, the only other caveat to that is the fact if they decide to throw Kayla Thornton into the starting lineup, I mean, she can go out there and do it. She used to be a starter back for the Dallas Wings. Didn't look bad. Was really sharp on the defensive end in regards to her block steals and her rebounding, but hasn't had to do it all with players like Jonko Jones and Breanna Stewart out there. So she'd be more of a GPP play for me. I would kind of feel more safe taking Laney, because without Sabrina, I kind of think Laney might actually be able to step up in this spot. We did see last time out, 26 minutes, only dropped 15.5 fantasy points going up against the Dream. But let's see what she's done for her history. Going up against the Dream, 2022 season, she had 1 game for 27 fantasy points, another one for 13. Season before that, she looked pretty good going out there. So I don't mind taking a flyer on Laney if I had to choose between the two of Thornton and Laney. I'd take my $100 savings and come down here to Laney if I had to pick between the two. Coming up here, like I said, Sabrina, she's expected to be out. They got her on the questionable tag, but she's been downgraded to doubtful. Do not play her. Don't think that you're getting some slick. She's not playing today. Of course, with Sabrina being out, that means that the point guard duties and the assist numbers should go up, honestly, for Courtney Vandersloot. If her line over on PrizePicks right now is at like 8.5 or 9 or something like that, I would definitely take the over on that, especially in this matchup. We just seen last time she dropped 11 assists in 29 minutes going up against the Dream. I feel like she can do that once again right here in the spot. Especially the fact you're not going to have to worry about sharing assists with Sabrina, which Sabrina was averaging, I want to say, like at least 5 or so assists a game. So, give or take 6, 4, 5, 3, 3. So, yeah. So, we don't have to worry about those assist shares being diverted to Sabrina in any way, shape, or form. That's going to all be on Slate, and we know the type of playmaker that Slate is. Definitely will be having some interest for her again here on the slate. More on her prop side, not really necessarily as a play. Sitting up there at 10K, I would rather just go ahead and get up to Lloyd if I'm going to play a 10K player or something like that, or drop down to some of the other value that we have. Going over here to Ronnie Howard. Honestly, if they move Thornton into the start lineup, I'm not touching Howard. I feel like she's going to have lockdown defenders on her in Thornton and Laney. That's going to be a pretty tough matchup for her right there. And then, of course, you're playing on the road. Her numbers on the road, looking at them, she's only played 2 games, and, of course, that was at the start of the season. They had a pretty good homestand. She popped off in the first game going against Dallas Wings. Second game, 29.5 fantasy points. Sitting at 9.7. I'd want a little bit more from you at that spot. So not really all there on Rainey today. Same thing for Cheyenne Parker. Yeah, going against the Liberty, she dropped 24.75 fantasy points. And I'm going to get to why I kind of think that's actually going to be the case. In regards to that, I'm not really looking at Parker. The biggest thing for me, you can come down here to Alicia Gray. Last game, 24.25 fantasy points as well. Played 31 minutes, 17 points, 5 rebounds, skimping on the assist. If she can get those assist numbers up, definitely feel like she could drop over 30 fantasy points, sitting at 8.8. I'd rather come down to her versus playing for Howard if I'm considering anything from here. But the biggest value besides Johannes on here is going to be the fact that Jonquil Jones. Like how we said, the usage is going to be bumped up for Stewart, Vandersloot, and everyone else in the starting lineup. Same thing for Jonquil Jones. And we are finally seeing Jonquil playing over 20 minutes a game. Finally getting to see that. Santa Bradella is finally loosening that leash in regards to her minutes, and she can produce when she gets to burn. We just seen her play in 21 minutes going up against the Dream a couple days ago. She dropped 11 points, 2 blocks, 3 assists, 8 rebounds. The rebound numbers are coming up. The blocks, they're getting there, and the scoring is getting there. We know she has a double-double upside. I know if anything from that Dallas game, the fact that she played 27 minutes, that's going to give me hope that she is close to playing 25 to 30 minutes a game. She is a fantasy point per minute scorer whenever she actually gets to burn and run. And let's even look and see what Jonquil Jones did last year. Last year, which she only played 11 minutes and 2 minutes in one game. But in playing 22 minutes, she dropped 35 fantasy points. Year before that, 28 minutes, 36, 34, 50, 30, 41. So we know this is a player that can pop off in the spot. And sitting at 7.5, I'm very sure she's going to be chalk on the slate. A player that I feel like you can just go ahead and lock in your cash games and just seal it. I like her. I like her in the spot. This is a plus matchup for her anyway. 7.5, very much good value that we can get right here on the slate for her in the spot. Coming out here, we already know that Ari McDonald's going to be out. I do have some interest in Haley Jones, especially if I'm expecting for Rainey to be struggling. Alicia Gray, she's going to go out there, do a little bit of something, do what she can do. I don't mind going back down here to Haley. I know that she's going to get the burn. It looks like they might be going to her over Hillman anyway. The shot, if the shot can fall, she's going to give us a little bit more than 11 points. I feel like she has definitely 20 to, I'll give her maybe 28 fantasy point production type range in regards to what she can go out there and do. I know she can play make in regards to the assists that she can go out there and get. It's just a matter of if the shot can fall. If she can still do what she's been doing on the defensive end, those things like that. She's shown that she can do it. In 28 minutes, she dropped 23 fantasy points going up against them. I don't hate her here at 6.5. Not something I'm going to run to in cash games, but definitely GPP worthy if she decides to have that rookie breakout game. Already really talked about Thornton, Laney, Coffee. I just don't touch her with a 10-foot pole. Durr, of course, your backup point guard off the bench. She can go out there. She can light it up. This is another revenge game, if you want to call it that, for her again here. Last time going up against the Libs, she only dropped 11.5 fantasy points. So, I mean, hit or miss if you want to go ahead and mess with that again right here in the spot, but not nothing I'm going to. Hillman, I'm just not touching that. Again, she's just been horrible in regards to the minutes and time that she's getting. Nasir, not messing with that either. So really just down here in the value slot, it's just going to be Johanna sitting at 4.6. I just like that. I don't see how you don't go ahead and just, especially if she starts, I don't see how you don't go ahead and lock that in. She's a starter. She plays big minutes over there in France. So, you know, she knows how to ball. She knows this offense. And then this is just going to give her more time to gel with Stewie, gel with Vandersloot, gel with the stars and stuff like that. You know, pretty much your 6-man for the New York Liberty getting a start would be pretty nice to actually see it. Going over here to the last game on the night, the Storm taking on the Phoenix Mercury. this game right here, I do got some interest. I feel like it's going to be fireworks. You got a low-level team that everyone's considering to be tanking, lottery, so on and so forth. And then you got the Phoenix Mercury, who are a mid-level team, still trying to figure out their life, trying to figure out what it is that they are doing out here on the court. Really, I'm going to give it to the home team, of course, Phoenix Mercury. They should win this, especially with the way that they've been playing and gelling over the past couple of games. The Storm, they're not a slouch, especially with Drew Lloyd back. They play very good. They play hard. They play team ball, and they look very good out there. Before I go ahead and continue with the breakdown, if you guys are new here and you guys have not already, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of this content. And drop a like. Let me know if you guys are enjoying this video and this type of breakdown right here today. If you guys want the plays and you want the court plays for not only NBA, well, not NBA anymore since that finished, WNBA, we still got one more hockey slate tonight, MLB, esports, you name it, we got it. Check down the link in the description below for the Patreon. It's only $10, and I promise you'll make that back within your first week. So looking at this game, top two plays that we have right here up at the top are Brittany Griner and Easy. Looking at it, I feel like Brittany Griner should be able to build off of that game that she just had going up against the Fever. I'm not too scared in regards to what Easy is going to be able to go out there and do to her in the spot. Seattle, they're giving up 27.8 fantasy points per game to center starters. That's what Line Star wants to say. She has dropped 54.62 fantasy points against the Seattle Storm. Of course, that was in the 2021 season. She did not play last year, so we do need to make sure we keep that in mind whenever we are looking at these numbers. So just looking at it, I personally feel like she's going to be able to go off and pop off in this spot. Austin, she had a pretty good game going up against the Storm. NECA had back-to-back really great games going up against the Storm. Brianna Stewart, Jonquil Jones, both didn't do too bad. Satu, Howard, great games. Audrey Wilson busted the slate. So I really feel like this is going to be a spot where we can actually go out here and see Brittany Griner get those blocks, get those points. I'm not expecting another 29 points, but I will expect at least 20, let's say 24-ish points for her. And hopefully maybe she can get it together on the rebounding end. There's no reason why you are literally the tallest person out there and you are struggling on the rebound end. But she makes up for it with the blocks and the steals that she's able to go out there and get. So I'm not going to hate too bad. But Brittany Griner, definitely one of the top plays for me on the slate today, just for the fact that we know what centers have done going up against these Storms throughout the season. On the other side of that, Easy is in a great spot as well for herself. We have seen opposing bigs do decent going up against the Phoenix Mercury. And the thing about Easy is the fact that she's not one that has to live in the paint. She actually has a mid-range shot, and she also has a three-point shot that she actually shoots pretty fairly well whenever it's on. I know she went 1 of 4 in that last game going up against Washington Mystics and 0 of 3 in those two games, but she did go 1 of 2, 2 of 2 in prior games like that. And then also she's just still finding a way to either A, get to the line or get those easy points that she can go out there and produce. But it's not the fact that she's doing all this on the offensive side. It's the defensive numbers that she's going up there and putting. She's averaging at least, I'll say she's averaging 3 blocks a game. Repeated 3 blocks, 4 blocks, a couple of steals, the rebounds, the playmaking with the assist. She's doing it all out there for them. It's pretty much, it's Lloyd, it's her, and then right now I'm going to say it's going to be Horston, just the way that she's been stepping up over the past couple games. So if you want to get different, maybe come off of Brittany Griner, play Easy in the spot. I don't hate that play here. I do feel like she has some merit to be played on today's slate as well in the spot. And then if we want to go and see what has she done, and this is where her coming off the bench last year. She dropped 38 fantasy points in 34 minutes, actually. 23 fantasy points in 23 minutes, and in 16 minutes only dropped 11. So the production and the time is going to be there for her to go out there and do. They're probably going to have her start at the center position if they make Russell come off the bench, if they keep the same starter that they had last time. I'm not going to hate that for Easy here in the spot. And then Jewel Lloyd, we've been attacking Diana Taurasi defense all season, to start the season and for the past several years. I'm expecting a 40 burger from Jewel Lloyd here, sitting at 10-7. Would honestly be the top guard that I would pay up for if I'm paying up at guard today on the slate. Diana Taurasi, she's playing at home. We know that she can light it up whenever she's at home. Dropped 40 fantasy points last time going up against the Fever. Her last home game, she only dropped 27.75 fantasy points. But then again, the Lynx, she dropped 45.75. If the three-point shot is falling, you know she is busting somebody's ass out there. So I don't hate Diana Taurasi here, but I would rather pay up for Lloyd if I'm going to go there for anything in this game for the guards. DT, always going to be GPP. Horston, if you're not trying to play Lloyd and you don't want to play Easy, I would come down to the third person who I feel like is definitely stepping up and has some merit on this team in regards to what they're doing, and that's going to be Horston. She's been moved into the starting lineup, played 29 minutes last game, most minutes that she's played so far to start the season, and looked decent out there. Of course, foul trouble kind of messed her up in that last game, but that's going up against the Washington Mystics. Playing here, going up against the Phoenix Mercury, don't hate the matchup. She can do it on the rebounding, the defensive side, and then just also on the scoring. Double-digit scoring in 3 straight games. Who knows? Maybe she might go out there and bust out for like a 15, 16-point game, including what she's already doing on the other side. At 8,300, do not hate going there for her if you have to pay for that. But if I have to, I'm coming down here and I'm looking at Sutton and I'm looking at Cunningham. If I'm wanting to get some guard play in this game, Sutton, Suggs, Sutton, if she's in the starting lineup once again, played 38 minutes last game. 38 minutes, but only dropped 19.5 fantasy points. That's the only downside to that. But we know she has that 30 plus, 20 plus fantasy point type game if she can get it going. Like I said earlier in the intro when I was talking about the fact that she was starting and things of that nature, the fact that she is doing quite a bit in regards to the playmaking department, getting over 5 assists through 1, 2, 3, 4 straight games, that's a lot. That is really truly a lot, and that's a big thing, especially for a player to come in there and do. She was doing this off of the bench until that last game. 7 assists in her start, but 9, 8, 6 assists coming off the bench. That's very good. And then also including that, we know she could be a double-digit scorer. So if she's able to do that in a matchup, what is considered going up against the Storm, a weak matchup, I like that for Sutton here at 7-8, and I don't hate that for Cunningham as well. Cunningham at home, if she gets hot and going from 3, we know that could be a big game from her as well. But if I got to choose between the two, I'm going to take my 100, go up to Sutton if I got to. GPP for Cunningham on the other side right there for that. Nurse, GPP, she's just so hit or miss in regards to if she's actually going to hit that shot. Dropped 27.5 fantasy points last game. I'm not gonna mess with that here today. Petty should be back by 7-1. Unless she's starting and gonna be getting major minutes, I'm not messing with Petty yet. Russell, nope. Pretty much your minutes have been declining. Sammy has not looked great in her minutes and time that she's been out there. 11 minutes last game, only 6 fantasy points. Unless someone's out and missing, I'm not playing Sammy. Onion, this is another one. She's been in the starting lineup as well. If she starts again here and you're not trying to pay up for Brittany Griner and you're feeling like Onion has just as good as a way to get up there and dominate the slate, I don't mind coming down here to her for 5-1. That's not a bad value play down there on the slate. So definitely can see you coming down here to that. Yvonne Turner, like I said, she's starting, but she's not playing minutes. And this is another thing when it comes down to it. The fact that Yvonne Turner is starting, but she's not really getting the minutes. They move Horston into the starting lineup. That leaves that bench unit, that bench usage there for Melbourne and for I really don't know how to say her name, but I'm going to say Ivana. Both of these players have stepped up pretty much really well in the past couple of games. We just seen Ivana in 23 minutes drop 23.25 fantasy points, sitting at 3.5. She's getting that bench run and burn out there with Horston in the starting lineup. And whenever Melbourne's out there and she's not hitting her shots and she's not doing anything, she's going to get yanked. She's going to get pulled. She's not going to get the burn. Right now, Ivana's kind of looking like the safer play. And honestly, a steal for value because the minutes have been pretty consistent and the fantasy points are trending up. 23 minutes dropped 23.25 fantasy points. If you're going to tell me she's going to get 15 to 20 minutes and at least give me, let's say, I'm going to say 12 to 15 fantasy points in that time frame, a fantasy point per minute, I have quite a bit of interest there. I do. Like I said, she can go out there, she can score. Definitely she can play make a little bit, but if she can go out there and do it on the defensive side at 3.5, I'm not asking for too much. I'm just asking for you not to give me a 0. So I do not hate that right there for if you want to come down here and get some extra value and you're trying to play like all bigs today on today's slate, I definitely can see you guys going out there and doing that. But all right, guys, that's going to be the breakdown for today's slate. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button so you guys do not miss any more of these uploads, and drop the like button if you guys did enjoy this. Tell me down in the comment section, who do you feel like is going to be the top scoring big on today's slate? Is it going to be Austin? Is it going to be Brianna Stewart? Is it going to be Brittany Griner? Or maybe it's easy. Let me know who you guys think is going to be that play for today's slate. And yeah, hopefully I see all of you guys in the green. Check the Patreon.